my mind, 'cause today's a beautiful day. Why would anyone take that away? Can we stay? Let's just stay. It's a beautiful.
So a couple videos back I showed you how to get the AI fragments by taking down a Sentinel freighter, and I've done that a few times, so I've got a nice little stack of them. So let's go get a Sentinel Interceptor. So when you click one of those things, if you're not in a dissonant system, it'll direct you to the nearest dissonant system where there's a Sentinel ship. Quick check of the map shows you where to go, and you hop, skip, and jump it over there. And you should see a little Sentinel Interceptor icon showing you the location. Now the first time you do this, it's going to be an approximate location, but after you do it a few times, it'll take you right to it. It's a little more direct than having to go through the whole finding a camp thing. So the first thing I'm noticing is I'd like this to be a green one, and it's not green. But let's go take a look at the class. C class. Alright, well, if you're going to claim a Sentinel ship, you have to empty out these things. You especially need the hyaline brain. You're going to need to do something with that later. But before you can put it to use, you need a couple of other ingredients. You're going to need radiant shards, about 3 of them. Fortunately, on a dissonant planet, they should be all over the place. So there's one right here next to the ship. Grab that one. And the others look like they're pretty far away, so get back to you in a moment. Calling in the Minotaur makes getting around a little easier, and you can still harvest those radiant shards. Just remember, you got to get them out of the inventory before you take off and go anywhere. Next thing you need to find is an inverted mirror. And in order to get one of those, you're going to have to take down one of those dissonant reactor thingies that are usually surrounded by a bunch of corrupted sentinels. Once you find one, just kill it. One of 2 things will come out of it, and the one we want is the inverted mirror. It's like we got that. The other thing you can get is an echolocator, which helps you find the camps. If that's what you get, well then just find another dissonant reactor and kill it. Nice thing about having the Minotaur is I can just boogie out of town and let the sentinels calm down before I call my ship in. Now we get to put that hyaline brain to good use. Jump on board my ship here. Now it should be ready for you to probe the subconscious, is what they call it, but it essentially acts like a locator to find a nearby ancient site. You're going to need to take that hyaline brain over and interact with the ancient site. Fortunately, this one's close. Sometimes you even have to go off the planet, go to another planet to find one. So once you get to the ancient site, well, learn a few words while I'm here. Where you normally would interact with the local deity, Korvax, Viking, Gek, you hop up here and it'll recognize that you have a brain. After a couple of interactions and you show it the brain, it transforms it into a pilot interface type brain, the harmonic brain. And that's the thing you need to activate the ship. Now I could just plug it into that empty slot and claim the ship as my own. However, as noted before, this is a C-class ship, and it's not even the color I want. So, how about no? No, I'm not going to claim this ship. Now, that doesn't mean that all the work we did was for nothing. See, I can go over here and cancel or abandon the mission, and then I can just go find another ship. Go to another system, and lo and behold, after a couple of tries, I find a green one that I like. You can rinse and repeat this as many times as you have carrier AI fragments to activate. Although it's a good idea to try to get a few systems away from the ones where you're not happy. So not only is this one green, it's A class, which is much better. Even if I decide to upgrade it to an S class, it's going to cost me less nanites. And because I've already gone through the process of turning the Hylian brain into a harmonic brain, once I empty out these things, I can just plug in the one I have, saving me a lot of effort. And boom, it's my ship. Well, once I claim it. Alternatively, you could claim the ships that you don't want and scrap them if you need money and upgrades that come out of it. I don't really need the nanites or the money right now because I brought all that stuff into the expedition. I just needed a ship. And now that I've got it, I just need to upgrade it. Unfortunately, I don't have 50,000 nanites, not quite anyway, to upgrade the ship. I brought along a couple of stacks, I think 3 stacks, of tainted metal, which, while it takes a little while to grind, has a really good ratio. Every piece of tainted metal gives you 2 nanites. So a stack of 9,999 basically gives you almost 20,000 nanites if you're patient enough to grind it all the way down. Fortunately, I can cut the time down by utilizing all 3 refiners. And that's the beauty of having a freighter as a resource to do things like this. So, just have to wait a little while. After a suitable wait, I should have a hopper full. It's roughly 4,000 and some change nanites, which by the time I claim that 3 times, should put me over the 50,000 mark. And I'll just take the rest of the nanites out of the reactors. You don't want to leave those things in here, because if you leave the freighter things in the reactors, they tend to, or the refiners, they tend to disappear. So I'll just pick a station somewhere. Yeah. Hop over there. Swap out the ship to my new Sentinel ship. And then go over to the upgrade place. First thing I want to do is upgrade the class. That'll take 50,000 nanites. If you're going from C to B, it takes 10,000. If you're going from B to A, it takes 25. And if you're going from A to S, it takes 50. Next thing I'll do is upgrade the technology slots. Swap back to my ship that I've been flying and start pulling all the technology out of that ship. And I'll just repurpose it in my new Sentinel Interceptor. Now, the Starborn Runner has pretty good stats, and in some ways it's a little better in the hyperspace than a Sentinel Interceptor, but there's something funny about the way it handles in atmosphere. It doesn't quite hover the way I like, so I prefer to have the Sentinel Interceptor. The last thing after I get done installing all the regular tech is to put these little figurines in, and especially the figurines, the Artemis, Polo, and the Alien will give you a bonus to your maneuverability. You notice every one of those that I'm installing is upping my maneuverability. They have to be adjacent to Polo there for it to work. And in addition, you can put 2 Starship trails attached and get even more. After that, people tell me you can get better speed. Maneuverability stats don't go up, but supposedly your ship will get faster. So I'm going to install all of them except for the Crimson, the Green, and the Rainbow. The reason being that those have hierarchy in what gets displayed over the purple one, which is what I like. Next thing is to outfit the ship. Sentinels require slightly different things to run. Radiant shards will run anything, but landing fuel is no longer uranium, or Starship landing fuel for that matter. It takes puginum. So when it's all said and done, you've got a workable ship. Now I've got my green Sentinel ship to go with the fact that I happen to be on the Sage Green team. Color scheme is right. The ship handles the way I like. And it managed to kill a little bit of time in between. Well, it looks like we're all done, so I'll see you guys the next time.
Just for a day.